Of papers, especially Italian papers, are focusing on the fact that yesterday the turnout wasn't as good as back in 2008, during the previous general election. For instance, if we take a look at the front page of the Italian version of the Huffington Post, you see the title there. It says, I won't say it in Italian, but it says voters are running away, and you see a photo there of a Femen activist being tackled by a police officer. They tried to confront Silvio Berlusconi as he was voting. Le Figaro, the French paper, takes a closer look at some of the disenfranchised voters, especially young people. And it points out that lots of young people actually didn't get that excited about this campaign. Many of them are called the bamboccioni. They're young people who continue to live with their parents even, into their 30s. And they say that they feel very much jerked around by the crisis. And Le Figaro points out that 35% of young Italians are unemployed. Many of them are getting into poverty as well. They feel like there's not that much hope for the future, and they say they don't expect that much to come out of the election. On the other hand, though, La Repubblica the Italian paper looks at some young people who actually did get very excited about the election, so excited that they posted about it on Facebook or other social media sites. You see some photos here of people taking photos inside voting booths, posting it online to get their friends to come out and vote. So La Repubblica points out that this electoral enthusiasm is great, but it could cost them a lot of money. Since 2008, it's illegal to take photos inside voting booths, and if you get caught, you can spend between a month and 3 months in jail, and you can get fined 300 to 1,000 euros.
Sounds like a risky business. Some Italian papers also focusing on how this election is proof that politics in Italy has changed.
That's right. This is the editorial of La Stampa today that says that it's quite enthusiastic about this election, and it says that it's proof that the bipolar political system is something of the past. The fact that there are political parties like the Five Star Alliance that are doing well in polls is proof that the traditional two-party system is over. It says that this election is giving Italians back the sense of what it means to be a citizen.
And what about non-Italian papers? What are they saying?
Well, a lot of the other papers are focusing on what this means for the economy. If we take a look at Gulf News, for instance, they're rather pessimistic. They say that the elections are unlikely to cure Europe's sickest man. They say no matter who wins the election, there'll be two major losers, and that's Italy and the Eurozone. According to Gulf News, the problem is that there's no political party that has a realistic plan to tackle the country's economic problems. No politician seems to have the guts to make Italians swallow the bitter economic pill that they need to swallow after decades of overindulgence, as Gulf News says.
And the Wall Street Journal, they're also focusing on the economy, aren't they?
That's right. They say that a generation of Italians are feeling the fiscal squeeze. And on the front page there, you also see a familiar face, and that's Il Cavaliere, Silvio Berlusconi. There he is, voting. And the Wall Street Journal actually has an in-depth investigation profile of him, and as he's staging his political comeback. What can come as somewhat of a surprise is that his media empire, a company called Mediaset, is struggling. And the Wall Street Journal actually interviews 24 current and former executives and clients to take a closer look at his company. Basically, Mediaset has benefited from the various stints that Berlusconi had as prime minister, but if he doesn't manage to make a comeback, well, the laws could change.
And finally, the Oscars. The papers, of course, talking about the winners, but also, in fact, the losers, because it seems like everyone's a winner at the Oscars. Is that right? That's
right. This is an article in Gawker that takes a look at the goodie bags that the losers get, the consolation prize. Yeah. They're gift bags that, well, pretty nice, worth $45,000. Wow. Includes a trip to Australia, but also some kind of raunchy elements as well that Gawker says might not be appropriate for the youngest Oscar nominee, who was only 9 years old. For instance, not quite sure what she'll have. There's a 6-pack of naked condoms, basically, worth $20. Okay. You have a Bonita Platinum Tequila worth $99. Also a premium electronic cigarette, and something really scary called the Vampire Facelift that's worth $5,000. So not quite sure what you shall have, but sounds pretty scary.
You can have the tequila. What shall I have?
I might have the Vampire Facelift, $5,000. Sounds like a bargain.
Thanks very much. Florence VILLEMINOT with the international papers here on France 24. Coming up then is the leisurely French lunch. No more as lunch breaks get shorter. More French workers are turning to the humble sandwich for lunchtime sustenance. Matthew Warren here with that business after the break.